So we're going to do the line counting activity today, and this is by far the most difficult, but we're going to do it in levels. So level 1 is the most easy. We're just going to start at starting point A and move the robot until it gets to the black line. So that's the code for 3. So I'm just going to move this out of the way. So I'm going to talk about that later. And we're going to set it up for A. So if you click this, you can pick which one you want to start for. And this one's pretty easy because we're just going to tell it to move forward and wait until the problem is the down eye does not detect black. And you notice I have these checked, and that's to monitor them. But we can wait until the front eye has a brightness in percentage. I want the down eye has a brightness in percentage of 0. So what this is saying is if it's a brightness in percentage of 0, because I believe if we look at it when we're going, like if I hit run and we're waiting for it, the brightness and percentage when it hits here is going to be something different. So let's stop and rewind, and then we're going to say stop driving, because I didn't give it any direction. Stop driving. So I believe this is the first level. And if we open the monitor, we can actually see some stuff going on here. And right there, do you see what happened there? So the down eye brightness in percentage is 0. That's for when it's black. For when it is white, it is 100%. So like if I change this to a different color, and we did it 0, and it would stop. If I moved it to line D and I just go forward, you'll see 57, 29, 58, 11. So each of these has a different color for its brightness, and white is 100. So that's level 1. This is literally the level 1 code. It's the easiest level 1 code you may have written. It's only 3 lines. That being said, if we're going in using point B, count each black line detected while driving forward. Use a variable to track the number of black lines. Okay. So this gets harder. So we're still using the down eye is 0. We're still driving forward. But we want to repeat this until. So you have this wait until right now. We want to repeat this until the left bumper or the right bumper is pressed. So that's when it'll hit the wall. You want to wait until this condition is being met. And what we're going to be doing is we're just going to run a very simple if. And you see here, if the brightness equals this. So if the brightness, sorry, I want this whole thing. So if that is brown, we're going to wait until, well, if that is brown, then we want to change the variable which we're going to set up. So I already set up these variables. So I've got black line, blue line. So I just made these. So we're going to change the variable by 1. So every time we'll change the variable 1, and we're just going to drive forward. And let's see what happens. We're going to hit clear here. I'm going to drive forward. Did I tell it to drive forward? I want to be on B. I got my monitor going. So it's definitely adding up my black lines. and it is neglecting to stop when the button is pressed. So I gotta tell it to do that. Okay. So I'm going to tell it to stop driving. Now, what I wanted to do at the end is I wanted to print black lines equal with a space, and I want to set the print color to black, and I want to print my variable, which is black lines. So let's see what happens if I do this. And it should be on B, very important. So I'm getting nothing here. This is saying black lines equal 2,200 and everything. So it did work, but it's not changing the variables the way I want it to. It's not counting them up. So it changed this variable by too much. So what's happening is as soon as it's doing this, it's adding it up the whole time I'm on it. So it's staying on there too long. So what we've got to do is we've got to add a wait until the brightness changes to pretty much anything other than black. So wait until, and I'm going to say the down eye brightness is equal to 100. So the down eye brightness is equal to 100. So what it was doing then is when it was on the black lines, it was just staying there, and it was adding it up, as you see here. Now we're not going to have it change the value by 1 until it gets back to the white area. So it not acknowledges it, waits till it gets back to the white area, and adds it up. So I'm going to hit clear here. We're going to hit play. I'm going to make sure I'm on B. And I'm going to drive. 1, 2. Now you see it's only adding it up by 1 instead of just adding it up the whole time it's on there. So black lines equal 5. So I counted up how many black lines I have. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the reason that worked is because when I was driving, I did the repeat until it hit the end of the wall. And then if the down eye had a brightness of 0, which is black, it would wait until the down eye sees that it's white again, and then it would change my variable by 1. So when I start the program, it's at 0. After I go over the first black line, it turns it to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. Okay? So this was this level code. So that's level 2. Level 3 is basically the same thing, except I'm going to start on a different one. I'm not going to do this. So for level 3, I'm going to start the program. I'm going to change level 3 to make the program count any color lines. And what we're going to do here is we're going to basically rewrite the program we just wrote, and then you're going to do post a code for the level 3 code, and then post a picture at D and E. So we can do this pretty easily with just this code and duplicating these ifs. So if we want to do it, if the down eye, we're going to change these out. And then we just got to change our variables. So like now we can detect colors, which makes our lives easier. If down eye detects red, change it, and we want our variable to be red line, which I've already created. And I just duplicate this. And well, maybe I want this one to be green. Green, and then I duplicate this. I drop it right there, that's fine. And I want it to be blue. And blue line. And then basically here I just have to duplicate this over with the other colors. And I've already done that. So I'm just going to bring these over. I'm going to throw this out to make my life easier. Now what clearing a row does is to make sure there's nothing here. So that'll clear out this. And then I do my black lines. And then set cursor next row is important up here. What this does is it makes a space here. If I do not have this in here, it'll just be like black lines 5, red lines right next to it, and it'll keep going. So setting the cursor to the next row makes the next row. But let's see if this program works. And I count all my lines. So I'm going to go to C. I don't think I had to do C. Let me see. I have you do D and E. So I'm going to go to C. And there should be 2 black lines and 1 of each of the other colors when we're all done. And let's see what I get. Alright, so here we go. I got 2 black lines, 1 of each of the other colors. And you would do that. You have to do it for D and E. But it's basically this code right here. And it's basically the level 2 code. You just add in all this. And the nice thing is the down eyes do detect red, blue, and green. If they didn't, we would have to basically watch the program. So like I'll show you the other way to do it for red. So let's go to sort of like D. So red's 29.9. So the other way to do this, like if I wanted to do it for red, is I would have to change that to equals or do a range. When it equals 29.9. Where's that? When where's the brightness one? There it is. When the down eye brightness, I should still be able here to count up my red lines. So let's see. I should still get 1 red line here. Let's see what happens. So yeah, I'm still able to get a red line here. So this works. You just have to like watch the sensor as it's going. But I feel like this is an unnecessary way to do this if you already have a sensor that just picks up the red. And it doesn't do it for the black, so you have to do this for the black, but otherwise it's good. The only thing I need to make sure you're doing is you gotta turn on the sensors, otherwise we don't see them up here, so we would have never been able to tell if we were detecting those things. Also, like it wouldn't have been giving us our brightnesses here, which were critical for me knowing we're doing. So that gives us the sensors we're picking up. And then the other critical thing was just making all the variables. And if you forgot how to do that, you go make variable and just give it a name. Okay, so I hope this was helpful. Good luck.